Priest here.
The light shall bring victory. The light shall
Always fun to play Priest mirrors in arena. Really grindy, value-y mirror. It's kind of funny though. That once like one player gets ahead, oftentimes the other player just doesn't have an opportunity to get back in the Priest mirror because of the healing of minions and things like that. Have an okay opener here. Could be better, could be worse. Decided there's no point in coining out the Raptor to just trade the Zombie Chow there. So he just goes to face. Not that big of a deal.
Mind if I roll knee?
Good thing I didn't try to trade with the Raptor. It would end up being pretty bad for me. I'm okay with that play because I get to draw a card this way. So he plays a Dark Cultist there. It's not too bad. Tough to say what the right play is here. I mean, if we Shadow Word Pain the Cultist, then we have a really big Zombie Chow to deal with. But we do have the Silence, so that's ultimately key. That's why I end up making that play. Still saving the coin here.
For a little while, I pack a big punch.
And he heals this guy. Pretty sure this is where we make the biggest Vol'jin of all time. Yeah. It's kind of too, like, tempting to not make this, like, you gotta make this play. Spend all that time giving that Zombie Chow so much health. Just get to take it all with the Vol'jin. Pretty nice. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Here come the food.
Definitely have a bunch of options here.
Is someone injured?
My eyes are open.
End up drawing some cards, because why not?
Someone call for the doctor. Job done.
Voodoo Doctor actually ended up being better in this deck than I thought it was going to be, just because of the double Northshire Clerics. It ends up being pretty nice as like a 1 mana draw card, get a dude play. He's in a pretty awkward spot now. Pretty awkward spot.
I wonder.
Again, he's taking a while, so it probably means that he doesn't have a great play this turn.
I wonder.
Hello.
Considering what his board is and things like that. Unless he played something good, of course, after all that time, which he didn't. Just played a Noyotron, which is pretty whatever. A great opportunity for silence here. We can just end up playing the Raptor. Here we go, guy. I mean, the value this Vol'jin's gonna get is unreal this game. First, it took away the 8 health off the Zombie Chow, and now it's just gonna start eating cards until we find something to kill it. pretty easy Fen Creeper here. Almost forgot to attack. Almost. Pretty close. We saw him use a Shadow Word Pain as well, so we're definitely not as scared of that happening. But he draws a second Shadow Word Pain. So that's pretty good for him. Yeah, that ends up working out pretty well for him. Pretty good RNG on that Matter Bomber. But, I mean, we're 6 cards to 3 here. And we have cards that draws cards, and Ragnaros.
Is someone injured?
I decided to just play the Cleric here.
Squire, attend me.
Ready, sir.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Get to boost our Sludge Belcher.
Excuse me.
Play the Shriekmeister here to save some health on our Sludge Belcher.
Let us see if this works. Right away.
Job's done.
Put him in a spot where he has to trade at least 2 guys for the Sludge Belcher, and then he still can't get at the Northshire Cleric. So really tough situation for him here. Especially because our hand is really good too. I mean, it's full of great cards. I mean, the worst card in your hand at this point is Healbot. I mean, you're in pretty good shape. Also awesome in the Priest Mirror when they heal their stuff and you get to draw cards with your Northshire Cleric. pretty good. Do this so I can trade with the Panther.
Push forward.
Trade these 2 guys in here. The other thing too in Priest Mirrors, why I keep checking deck size, is it is really easy to overdraw on Northshire Clerics, and then for them to get you into fatigue really early, especially because they can activate your Northshire with their heal as well. So it's definitely something you want to be careful of. In Constructed all the time, and Priest Mirrors come down to that, but not in this game. So he concedes, and yeah, just move on to the next one here.
Anduin versus
Let's play a
Anduin.
Priest. I think I definitely have the advantage in this matchup because I have the 2 crazy legendaries and all the late game. So it's tough to see another Priest deck having just a better late game. They'd have to have, I mean, multiple Shadow Word Deaths to start for sure, and then something of their own, like, you know, their own Temple Enforcers and stuff like that. But even then, I still have like Ragnaros and things.
Injured?
I'm just not likely to have. I decided to just pass here. Could coin out a guy, but I mean, it gives him opportunity to draw cards at this Cleric, and then I lose coin as well.
Let us see if this works.
Decided to just play the Shriekmeister here. Keep the Shadow Word Pain.
The damned stand ready.
Let's get physical.
I decided to do this instead of, well, yeah, no, I mean, that's really, there's no other play. The other way I give his Northshire Cleric a bunch of health and leaves me with 3-2. Doesn't make sense. So that's pretty much the only play to make there.
Pass me that arc light spanner.
Couple option here, link coin,
We
Fang
must
Creeper.
cleanse the Sunwell.
Also just this play here.
Let's get physical.
I decided to do this for maximum value. I don't have to. I can coin and play Spider there, especially because I have Sea Giant in hand. So it gives me an opportunity to activate my Sea Giant and do something. Yeah, it ends up being pretty okay for him. Just drop the Fang Creeper. I mean, I already used a Shadow Word Pain there, so immediately makes me more comfortable to play this second, the 3 power guy. Got a Spider Tank, another really strong addition from GVG. That card in arena. Just try to establish more creatures here, minions, so I can play the Sea Giant.
Let me change your mind.
That's the Shadow Priest. Bit of an awkward turn here. It's tough to say what the correct play is.
Of course.
I end up doing like this just to start clearing out those spiders. Also gets rid of that Shadow Word Death, which is why I was kind of hesitant on playing the Sea Giant there. I mean, much better if he hits the Temple Enforcer. That is a really big Shadow Priest. Just gonna silence that. Play the Sea Giant.
Of course.
I have to do this trade here. Well, yeah. Can't go either way. I mean, he still needs extra 1 damage. This way I get to keep a card. Pretty nice for our Blood Knights. Ooh, very nice. Very, very nice. I'm gonna play the Fazio first. Get a couple of decent cards.
Glory to the Sindora.
So I mean, now we have a pretty strong board, and we also got a Shadow Priest. This guy's deck's pretty good. He has 2 Shadow Priests. And this nice on Mind Control my guy. Draw Ragnaros. Getting pretty lucky here in the sequencing of stuff. Like, he plays Mind Control, and then I get Ragnaros. Same thing with the Shadow Word Deaths, and the Shadow Word Pain as well. If he saved it for just 1 more card, he would have got a lot more value out of the Death, the Pain, and the Mind Control there. So I do get kind of lucky the way those sequences. Like, it wasn't a bad play for him to use those cards on the cards that he did use them on. But if he had alternative plays and made those instead, it definitely would have worked out a lot better for him in the long run. This is where the Shadow Priest is pretty good.
Let me change your mind.
And take the 2/4. Just kind of need to play minions here.
Job's done.
Not really a whole lot else to do. Definitely not optimal that Ragnaros hit. Better than hitting either of the 2/2s. But definitely want to hit the Yeti or the Blood Knight there. It ends up being fine anyways. Like, we got enough value out of Ragnaros already. Yeah, once again, like, that's just arena sometimes, though. Like, you get unlucky. You use a death and they play something immediately better. Or same thing with Shadow Word Pain. It's just unfortunate how the sequencing worked out for him in this game. Definitely could have been a different game if he would have mind-controlled Ragnaros, Shadow Word Death, my Sea Giant, and Pain my Fen Creeper. Especially painting the Fen Creeper. I mean, now he's on no cards and 2 6/6s.
Someone call for the down.
Even heal my guy here. So we have a pretty good situation.
Well played.
Kind of played out differently though. He just decides to concede. And move on to the next one.
Anduin versus Jade.
Oh, finally start hitting the mages. We've got enough wins now.
The light shall
I think we're up
bring
to 7 wins, so definitely where mages reign supreme. Gonna be a lot of those. Although Priest is pretty great against Mage, not gonna lie, especially my deck, because I don't really rely on flooding the board, so Flame Strike's not all that great, and I do have a lot of like over Flame Strike minions, so you're just not gonna have enough damage to clear the board anyways with Flame Strike. So start playing the bigger stuff. Fine opener here. Honor Creeper's a great draw. Another thing I love about this Priest deck is I have a great curve. Like, I have just enough early game, and then I have a lot of like answer cards as well. The Pain, the Death, Vol'jin, Blood Knight, and then I have great cards like Temple Enforcer, Ragnaros, things like that. So really like how this deck worked out. Decided to just use the pig here. Just having 2 damage on my spider doesn't really matter. Allows me to save the smite. Pretty good start here. Again, too, like, Smite Vol'jin is really good because it allows you to trade with whatever you Vol'jin. He gets a Yeti. Again, we're in 7 wins now, so we're going to see a lot better decks. My play definitely, I think it's a lot better than the early games here, because at this point I'm pretty happy. I've gotten to 7 wins, so our hand's pretty good here. Use the Yeti and Hero Power and start clearing some stuff out if he wants. I don't know why he wanted to just hit the Loot Hoarder there. He might have misclicked.
The spirits be ready.
This gives me optimal Vol'jin trade, so we're gonna take it while we can. Yeah. Not pinging the Loot Hoarder there ends up kind of sucking for him. Again, that Vol'jin coming in pretty huge. The other thing too in Arena is when your opponent takes a long time to make decisions, sometimes it means that they have absolutely nothing, and other times it means that they have everything. And you can kind of judge that based on what they're playing after they take a long time to make their decisions. And then move on from there to see... definitely doing this here to check for Mirror Entity, and it is. So that ends up working out really well for us. And I get to heal the 2 damage on my guy. Much better than him getting a copy of my Sludge Belcher, Temple Enforcer. Definitely playing around Mirror Entity. That could have been really devastating.
Pass me that arc light spanner.
Lots of options here. Like I said, like I'm taking a long time with this deck most of the time is because I have tons of great different plays, right? And the opponent should be able to figure that out. Once I take a lot of time and I end up playing a Sludge Belcher or something, like they should kind of figure out that, oh, this guy's got a really good hand. Versus like when your opponent takes a long time to do something and they end up trading 2 for 1 or playing not the greatest minion or things like that. That's often a sign that their hand's really bad, right? And you can use that information to your advantage. Like, helps you when you're face racing. Like, if you know that they're making really suboptimal plays, then it allows you a little more leeway to just go face. Like here, yeah, like you can tell he's taking time now because his hand's just not great for what I have on board. And Vol'jin's just gonna end up getting all the value of this game. Again, like taking time here because I have multiple good plays. End up doing this first just to see what he gets on that 2-drop.
Here come the voodoo.
I'm really indecisive here about what I'm gonna do this turn.
I must consider.
The thing is, like, I'm worried about Flame Strike at this point. So I want to try my best not to get destroyed by that. That's why I end up healing the Vol'jin instead of the Sludge Belcher. And it's also why I end up not doing, playing the Ghoul, then healing and playing a bunch of stuff, because then I get just blown out by Flame Strike. This way, at least as he Flame Strikes, I'm still going to have at least one 6/6. And especially past 7 wins, really important to play around Flame Strike because there's like a 90% chance they have it. To have a Mage deck past 7 wins and not have Flame Strike, I think is pretty rare. So he does have a bunch of minions here starting to flood the board, but the thing is, like, I'm at such a high life total that I'm not really worried about getting hit in the face and then getting bursted out by fireballs, and I also have way better quality of minions than he does right now.
Here come the
I would just start playing out his stuff.
My eyes are open.
Again, playing around like Flame Strike and stuff is the best I possibly can. That's why I'm not playing Ghoul. I'd rather heal my stuff up. Try to get out of that Flame Strike range. Because even here, if he Flame Strikes and it didn't do that, he ends up killing my Vol'jin and my Temple Enforcer. Like, that's pretty good for him still. This way, it's just such an awkward scenario. I think it works out a lot better. Also, too, because at this point, I'm pretty convinced the only way I'm going to lose this game is to a Flame Strike. So, definitely important to evaluate like how you can lose games when you're ahead, and then play around those cards. Even if they're really specific, if you're really ahead and you can afford to play around stuff, you almost always should. Just so you secure your games and you know, you don't get mad and, oh, RNG, he had a legendary to kill me or whatever. It's like, no, if you could have played around it, I mean, it's still on you. So it's important to recognize that too. There's a lot of people that'll chalk stuff up to that, to RNG, like, oh, I had this specific card and I was so far ahead. But if you can trace back to a point where you can play around it, obviously avoid it. Like here, I'm so far ahead. Like if I lose the game at this point, it's more than just him having really good RNG, right? Like I can afford to play around things. So just take your time and think it out. Think through your turns. That card's awesome. Not so awesome when he's this far behind, though. Yeah, get the second Temple Enforcer. Two draw Owl. Pretty good for that Sky Golem. Pretty good. We're just gonna play more Temple Enforcer, because we can.
Right away.
He's just in such a bad spot here. Especially because he can't really afford to clear the Cleric. So even if he does clear the big minions, he's still behind on the Cleric. And pretty hard for him to figure out how to win this one. He's pretty priced into that trade, otherwise he just takes a lot of damage to the face. This deck is definitely one of the strongest decks, like past 7 wins.
Harvesting servos.
I think its deck just keeps getting better because of the strong late game. Because games generally go to late game past 7 wins. Both decks are good enough early that one player doesn't just get blown out. I decided to just not play anything here again. You play around Mind Control tech, or you don't give them more Flame Strike, just all kinds of different stuff. I mean, there's no reason for me to play cards here. He either clears my board here or he doesn't, and even if he does, then, I mean, somehow, I don't think he can. He had to, 2-for-1 himself just to get rid of one guy. And that's it for this game, so just take this win and move on to the next deck, next game.
Anduin versus Anduin.
I get to play against another priest deck here.
The light shall burn you.
Kind of rare to see priest actually this high. I guess it's not too rare. I mean, I don't know. I think it's definitely harder to play than mage. Especially against to get to the over 7 wins in the first place against all the burst decks. It's pretty rough time for priest. It's hard for your deck to get through that point in the arena run. It's probably right now my favorite arena class to play though. And mage is definitely still better, but I enjoy priest more. I think there's a lot more decisions to make. You get the crazy late game. And if you have a really good priest deck, you're gonna be probably gonna have the advantage on most mage decks, unless they have like all the fireballs and stuff like that. So not a lot of good plays there against the Shadow Boxer. The double Shadow Boxer. Oof. That card, I'm pretty sure, is good in Arena, though not great. I think people thought it was going to be a lot better than it actually is. It ends up being okay. Decent enough. Yeah, Shadow Boxer, that is. This is a very awkward turn, because I don't want him to get crazy value out of these Shadow Boxers. I actually end up killing the one that doesn't have damage on it. Or I don't. I don't know. I just pass. Because I don't want to play my cleric.
For the crusade!
best possible draw. Whew. That was definitely a good one. You can pray for no shadow word death here, and then in the clear or silence. Even silence isn't that bad. So I definitely got a little bit lucky there. Could have definitely been a lot of ways that I would have just got behind the shadow boxer and gotten a lot of trouble. Is that my guy? He does get my guy, so he gets a little bit lucky in return there. But I still get a 2-for-1, so more than happy with that. If he didn't hit that shadow boxer with the bomber, or the Blood Knight there with the bomber, that would have been pretty much game over. But it still works out for us. We still get just all the value out of that. Now we just have a lot of opportunity to pull ahead in this game. Again, really like that repair bot. It's just a big 5/4 body.
We must
I think it's a really strong card. Decided to play like this. Also could have played Temple Enforcer. Would have been fine.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
I mean, that's fine for us. Owl. Plays Grizzly. Lots of options this turn.
I must consider.
I don't think Drake is an option, but I definitely think Temple Enforcer and Sludge Belcher. I guess I do end up playing Drake. Yeah, no, Drake is fine here as well. Because he has to 2-for himself to kill it as well. Looking back, I mean, Sludge Belcher probably a little bit better. Problem with this play for him is he's just not far enough ahead to go face. He's not ahead at all. Actually, like, I'm ahead on cards and ahead on board. So for him to make that freeze play, it's a little too early. Like, if you're playing Frost Elemental like that just to get in damage, like, you need to make that damage relevant. And at this point, it's just it's not relevant damage. He's just too far behind. And because that was his previous play, and he's taking a long time here, I can also kind of put it together that his hand's probably not great. If that was his best play last turn, to just get in damage with a Priest. I mean, Priest Mirror is definitely all about the value. I think it's Boulder Fist Ogre here, but it can't even get through my taunt, so... End up doing this. We get to clear that ogre out. Would have been nice if we had the mana to sneak in Northshire there, but we didn't. Ow, I mean, really far ahead, especially with double Northshire in plan. See another one of those guys. Huh.
Is someone injured?
Yeah, I just played double Northshire here.
Is someone injured?
I mean, it's pretty hard to come back from this spot. Oh. Circular Healing would have been really good in this deck too, looking back. Just because I have the double Northshire. There's a lot of situations where it would have been really good.
My eyes are open.
Yeah, he's going to draw 2 more cards. Pretty much putting this game out of reach, no matter what he does. Especially because there's really low probability of him clearing both my Northshires again. So I have opportunity to draw more cards. I'll play some more Ogre. He's got big minions, but the 1 mana Sea Giant. Oh, that's pretty good. This guy's deck is pretty good. He's just a little bit more late game focused, which ends up, I mean, kind of screwing him over. Because my deck has looks like my deck had a lot stronger mid game than his. Yeah, okay, early game though. I mean, with double Shadow Boxer, it had to be not the worst. Yeah, I actually had lethal, and it took me a little while to figure it out. Good thing I figured it out before I attacked with the pig there. But yeah, I mean, we win that one, and move on to the next one. And we get another mage here.
The light shall bring
Lots of mages this high up in the winds in arena. I decided to keep the better 3-drop here, which is the Shattered Sun Cleric, so I can clear stuff early. End up drawing 2 really good early game cards, so very strong starting hand here, especially against Mage. Definitely going to coin out that Shriekmeister here because of all the early game cards I have in hand. It's just there's too much reward for trying to establish an early game, especially we have the cards to do it. So pretty easy decision there. And we're going to draw out a Frostbolt with that, which we're fine with. Easier to keep our Northshire Cleric alive, which is nice. Draw the boar, which is good. Let's play Spider here. Again, we have a very strong early game opener with this one. That's very good for us, as we can just trade the Shattered Sun into it with the Spider. And then, I mean, if he doesn't ping the Spider, we still have 2 power on the board. If he does ping it, we get 2 spiders anyways. So it puts him in a bad spot with regards to that card. He needs like a owl and then ping it. Be pretty good here for him. He uses the Arcane Missiles here. I think either order is fine. Like, he could have pinged the Spider first, then try to clear out the little spiderlings. Doing that is okay too, because he wants to get rid of the 3/2 so he can play his guy there, so I can just trade into it really easily. Turns out I can do that, so it doesn't really matter. My other play there was to Northshire and then heal it with the Voodoo Doctor. That would have been fine as well. Kind of price him into picking that Voodoo Doctor. Yeah, let's play Sludge Buster here. Pretty decent play. If we played it the other way, it would have made his turn slightly more awkward, but it also would have set us up to get Flame Strike or Blizzard, or even Cone of Cold, because we have a lot of 1 power stuff. So I kind of played a little bit more safe. It's not too bad for us. Gonna slam the Temple Enforcer here. Kind of price him into trading with that, with his 5/4. Definitely want to try to avoid early face damage if I can, because I can definitely lose to fireballs and stuff from Mage. Especially at 10 wins with this deck. I think this is 10 wins. Like, they're probably going to have that kind of stuff. So we did draw out the fireball there. I don't know about this attack. I definitely would have went face, because now I can just trade with it easily. Especially now that I draw that Ghoul. Like, if he doesn't make that attack, then I really didn't have any options to kill that thing. He might have been scared of Shadowword Death, which is one reason to do that. I think missing out on that 6 damage there is pretty significant for him. in a good spot here. I mean, the odds are that one of his 3 cards, or that none of his 3 cards are better than Ragnaros, so definitely have the advantage when it comes to hand. We're also ahead on board, and we have a Northshire to help draw cards. I use sites to trade with the ghoul, which is fine. Okay, Sea Giant is a great draw there. Gonna play that over Ragnaros, because for Ragnaros to be good, I have to both hit the tiger, and I also have to hope he doesn't have a polymorph or something to easily deal with my Ragnaros, because I'd rather he do that with Sea Giant than with Ragnaros, because Ragnaros is just a way better card. So I try to bait out removal here with the Sea Giant. If he doesn't have removal for the Sea Giant, we're in really good shape anyways. I mean, arguably no better shape than we'd be with Ragnaros. I mean, if Ragnaros hit the tiger, maybe be in a little bit better board position, but I think this play is definitely better. In a great spot now for sure. I mean, he has 1 card left. He just froze our stuff, so we couldn't kill his, which is fine. Still don't really want to play Ragnaros here. Just does give him an opportunity to draw something and kill it or anything like that, especially when we already have the 8/8 on board. Like, force him to deal with that first. Like, Ragnaros at this point is my almost guaranteed win for this game, this late in the game. So I'd rather that be as hard as possible for him to get rid of. Like, you put him in a position where he pretty much has to polymorph or pyroblast it, and if that's all he has, when he's already used the polymorph as well, like, that's pretty much game over if I can get him in that spot. And he's forced into trade wing Northshire here.
I'm ready. I'm not ready.
The light
Ends up playing out his hand. Not a whole lot going on, so very good spot now in this game. Blood Knights would have been nice. Blood Knight would have been nice last turn. Get that Annoyotron shield. Nice 6/6.
Eyes are open.
Heal the Sea Giants. Heal the other guy. So you force him to ping it. He wants to get rid of it. End up playing the Voodoo Doctor to do that though. I just want as much health on my stuff as possible. So now he's like kind of in a a Flame Striker bust scenario. Even if he Flame Strikes here and trades out the board, I still have Ragnaros. So that's where keeping that for this long was really pay off. And that's one of the only ways I can lose this game. So to have a backup in case that happens is really, really valuable for me. Once again, when you're ahead, you always want to try to play around absolutely everything if you're super far ahead. Just so your opportunity for your opponent to win the game becomes, almost 0. Obviously, not most of the time. You don't have... I mean, you can only play around certain things most of the time, but I have a really strong deck, and I'm ahead, so pretty much have the ability to play around everything. And now here's the perfect spot for Ragnaros. 0 cards in hand. If it hits the Water Elemental or his face, we're happy with both those outcomes. So it's just the ideal scenario here. Yeah, the Water Elemental, if it hit face, it's fine too. Doesn't really matter what happened there. And that's pretty much a wrap for this game. Yeah, we went to the next one, so... Alright, this is our final game of this arena run. Did not get to 12 wins quite. Kind of unfortunate that we couldn't make it there, but I'm happy enough with 11. I mean, 11 wins is good enough. This is definitely a 12-win potential deck, though. Like, I could have got 12 wins here. I queue into this aggressive priest for my last game here, and definitely not good against the super aggressive decks, like I said before. Bit unfortunate. Like, you're not going to see a lot of these aggressive decks at 11 wins, so Did kind of get a little bit unlucky here, but it's fine. Still got a lot of wins. Got lucky in the first place. Got all these legendaries and stuff in my deck, so it's okay. I mean, a decent opener here. Not the greatest, not the worst either. He coins out the raptor. Just have no good answer to that. Yeah, I could have really used a Holy Smite here. Would have helped a lot in this game. But I don't draw very well, and I mean I could play the cleric here. Decide to Thought Steal. Hope I get something from him. I get nothing from him. So. Yeah, a really aggressive start. I just had no answers, nothing to do.
The light protects.
Like I didn't do anything my first 3 turns, so pretty hard to win the game when that's the case. And also, like I said before, I don't have Holy Nova, I don't have Circle Combo. So I'm like, my best play here is, you know, first turn, or first play on turn 4, clear that out.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Also don't have, like, Holy Fire, like, heal later on, so... Definitely not favored in this kind of matchup. Like, this guy drafted, you know, the 1/1, bubble guy, so I mean that should tell you right, like he's so aggressive. Like if you have that in your deck, I mean you're a pretty aggressive deck. I'm definitely not favored against that. Just not a lot to do here. I don't have good plays. And I'm already at 18. Like at this point I'm also thinking like I probably lost this game already. So I'm trying to figure out if there's any way I can't lose this game. Because I'm at 11 wins, so like 1000% this guy's gonna have fireballs at some point. I'm already at 18 and a virtual 15 because I'm gonna take 3 next turn for sure. So it's like that fireballs and stuff is gonna become lethal way too fast. And he plays Fel Reaver, which I'm forced to remove. I actually do end up coming really close to stabilizing here.
The spirits be restless.
He well plays me already, so you got like. I don't know. I needed a few more turns here. For him not to have the burn.
Your magic shall not save you.
Is someone injured?
Maybe healing face there was better. And just trading. Playing duplicate there because I want him to think it's ice block pretty much. Because I saw that burn through his deck. So.
Someday I'll be just like you!
Maybe could have held on to that. I didn't really need the value. I could have healed face and like played Raptor or something. It might have been better. Yeah, that was probably a little better. I think I would have lost this game either way though, to be honest. Especially, I mean, got that mirror entity.
Right away.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a whole lot I could have done to even this out. I could have played it maybe a little better, but I think I would have lost anyways. Needed a taunt pretty badly here. I mean, one Sludge Belcher or a Fang Creeper. So 1 of 3 cards. Would have helped a lot this game.
I wonder
That's the thing too. I'm experienced enough here to know that I'm probably dead to Fireball. But I can't really do anything about that. Even if I heal, I'm dead to double Fireball, so... I definitely could have played the Bloodfin Raptor healed face, and that would have been good. I don't know. It's really tough to say. I don't think it would have been good enough if I would have healed face last turn.
To the Sindora.
Well played.
Not a whole lot to do here. Don't get that taunt. I drew quite a few cards too. Just paid pretty much all I could do. This guy's BMing a bit, but they're really well played. Whatever. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this arena run. Hope you guys liked it. Sorry I couldn't get to 12 wins. Came close. If I didn't concede that game too, but I had to do something on that time, that Warrior game. But that's okay. I think it ends up working out pretty well for me anyways. And yeah, so like, subscribe, check out my other videos. Hopefully you can learn some more stuff about Hearthstone and improve your game a bit. All that's left here, just gonna open the packs, or the P.A.C.A. Show you guys just the one pack. Rewards. Yeah, a bunch of gold, a bunch of stuff. Only a one-rare pack. The Orc Ninja. And that's it for me, guys.